Today, while speaking to a friend, my own sins came to mind. My temptations, my struggles, my shortcomings. I don't know about you, but oftentimes it seems as though all my promises to God are as ropes of sand. I keep telling Him in prayer that I won't do such and such, but then I find myself doing those things all over again. Sometimes it's easy to despair and think, you know what? What's the point? I am just a helpless, wretched sinner. But you see, in the Bible, in the book of Romans, Paul understands what I'm going through and maybe what you're going through. In Romans 7, beginning in verse 15, he says, "For what I am doing, I do not understand. For what I will to do, that I do not practice. But what I hate, that I do." He continues to say that it's not that he wants to do these things, but it's this sin that dwells in him. But Romans doesn't stop there. It says something like this: where sin abounded, grace abounded that much more. Maybe you're on the verge of giving up. Maybe you think you're just a failure, that you'll never amount to any good anyways. But let me remind you of something. There is a God in heaven who by His breath stars were created. There is a God in heaven who created you fearfully and wonderfully, who created you in His image and in His likeness. And let me tell you more. This God knew that you would mess up. He knew that you would fail. But guess what? He chose to create you anyways, because there is a God in heaven who is madly in love with you. Not just when you're a good boy or when you're a good girl, but this love is unconditional. And He wants to give you victory over your temptations, over your struggles. There is nothing that you can do to add on to His sacrifice, because it was paid in full and it was more than sufficient. And because He died on your behalf, and because He lived a life of righteousness, Him through you is the hope of glory. So don't do it by yourself. And just remember, when your sin abounds, God's grace will abound that much more.